Okay, so now we need to get rid of all these marching ants. What you need to do is click on Select and None. Okay, so now we just have our text. And the next thing that the directions say are to merge the text layers down. So we just want to merge the text. We do not want to merge into the background. So click on Layer and select Merge Down. And we need to do this again. Layer, Merge Down. And now we have a text and we have a background. Now the next thing it says is go to Filters, and we are going to click on Light and Shadow, and then we are going to say Drop Shadow. And I know the directions have some other numbers here, but we're going to use 15 for X, 15 for Y, blur radius 0, and we want to uncheck Allow Resizing. Make sure that that's unchecked. And opacity, I liked it a little better at 80, so I left mine at 80, and then click OK. And now we have a black shadow behind the text. Now, if for some reason your shadow doesn't work, it probably means it didn't end up between the background and the text. And if you'll look at these layers, these are the order they go. The background is on the bottom, our drop shadow is next, and the text is what's on top. That's the order that the layers show up in. Okay, so the next step talks about the perspective tool, and I played with that for a while and wasn't able to really tell what that effect was supposed to be doing to this picture. But I also found out that it does not edit undo those commands very easily. So you'll notice my text is a little different probably from where we left it. So if you want to play with the perspective tool, I would be sure that before you do that you go to File, Save As. Now you have to go down here and change this file type to the GIMP XCF image, and what that does is that saves the whole project in GIMP so that if you need to go back to it to work on it, you can. And then I'm just going to get canceled down here because I'm not ready to do that at this point. Okay, so the next thing it mentions is to set the layer mode of the logo, which is the text, to overlay. So make sure you are clicked on text, click on this mode button, and change this to say overlay. It'll change the appearance of the text, and it's already starting to blend a little better with the background. So at this point, now they said for us to duplicate this layer. So right here on text, we're going to right click and duplicate layer, and you'll notice that it says text copy. Now we need to move this layer below the text. So now you should see text, then the text copy, your drop shadow, and your background. Now, while we're on this layer, we're going to go to Filters, and we're going to go to Blur, and we're going to go to Gaussian Blur. And change your settings here. It is supposed to say 30 for both of these. Alright, and that one ended up 300, so let's change that. 30, and then we need to click OK. Alright, now after we do that, it says to right click on the original text layer, and we're going to click on Alpha to Selection, and then it says we're going to hit the duplicate, the layer that says text copy, and we're going to delete that. Now it says delete button, that didn't work for me, so I'm just going to click on delete. Okay, so the next thing we need to do is get rid of marching ants again. Go to Select and click None, and now it tells us to erase what's on the pole so that it doesn't look like you spray painted over the pole. It would have been spray painted behind it. Let's see, we're going to go to find our eraser tool. Alright, and then this shows you how big around it is. If you'll come over here, you can tell I have mine set to be the same width as the pole. And so you may have to click more than once like usual. That activates the window, and now this one should actually erase. So just slide down the pole. Now you'll notice it's not erasing the shadow. That's because that's on another layer. So I'm going to click on my drop shadow, and I'm going to do the same thing again. And erase drop shadow. Oops, that didn't do very good. So just go straight down, erase it as best that you can. Okay, so that gives you an idea of some of the options on how to do this. Now, different tools, whether you use the spray paint, you don't necessarily have to do the background layer in another color, all those things will affect how it turns out. And then when you're done, you can actually go to View, and you can tell it, an option of however you want to view it. If you want to view it like 100% or the original size, you can zoom however you want to. Let's just go to 100%. So that's really what it looks like. And it looks a little better, see, when it's the original size. It looks pretty realistic. Now to save it, you're going to go to File, Save As. And once again, be sure you change this file type. And to save it to use like an image, you're going to have to use the JPEG image right here. JPEG, JPG. See these formats? And then tell it where you want it to save. Graffiti wall, done. Alright, this is a normal message, and just tell it export. What it means basically is it's putting all of those layers together back there. It can't export them separately, so it's going to put them together. And then you can just say save. And now I'll have this picture when I go back to my desktop.